Have you ever looked around and wondered, why is it that those who don't even know God seem to be doing better than those who serve Him? Why do the wicked drive luxury cars, build empires, travel the world, while you, a believer, can't even pay rent? Why does it feel like the righteous are being punished, and the unrighteous are being rewarded? You're not alone. These are the silent tears many believers cry. The questions they whisper in the dark. Lord, I thought you said you would bless me. Why am I suffering? But today, I want to open your eyes to something deeper. This is not punishment. It's preparation. Let's be honest. Many Christians are suffering. Not because they are lazy. Not because they are faithless. But because they've chosen a harder path, the narrow road. The world offers shortcuts. Lie, cheat, bribe, manipulate, use people, sell your soul, compromise. And it works, for a while. But the believer says, I can't do that. I live by a different code. And that code comes with a price. When others are rising by corruption, you're waiting on God. When others are cutting corners, you're walking the long way, in faith. When others are sleeping with their bosses for promotion, you're praying at midnight for a breakthrough. You've been mocked. You've been passed over. You've cried in silence. And sometimes, you've even asked, God, is this what serving you gets me? But let me tell you something powerful, you're not the first to feel this way. Even David, a man after God's heart, felt the same. Psalm 73 verse 3. For I envied the arrogant when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. He saw how the wicked seemed to be carefree, healthy, wealthy, at peace, while he, God's chosen one, was broken. But then something happened. Psalm 73 verse 17. Until I entered the sanctuary of God, then I understood their final destiny. David realized something profound, the wicked may prosper now, but it's temporary. It's a setup, not a blessing. Their success is a trap. Their riches are a rope slowly tightening. Here's the hard truth nobody wants to say, God is more interested in your growth than your comfort. He's more focused on building your character than your brand. He's more passionate about preparing your soul than filling your wallet. When a goldsmith refines gold, he turns up the fire not to destroy it, but to purify it. That's what God is doing with you. He's stretching you. He's breaking pride, ego, and selfishness. He's preparing you for something bigger than what you see now. You are being processed, not punished. Be careful not to envy what you don't understand. Some of the people you admire, their success has an expiration date. They look blessed, but they are slaves to their lifestyle. They sleep on silk sheets but have restless hearts. They have followers but no peace. They live in mansions but are spiritually homeless. And you, the believer, you have peace that passes understanding. You have grace that carries you. You have joy that money can't buy. You have God's hand on your life. Don't trade that for temporary applause. If anyone knew suffering, it was Job.
My God!
He lost everything.
My God,
His
why have you
wealth,
forsaken
his children,
me?
even his health. And yet God called him
My God.
blameless. It wasn't sin
My
that
God,
caused
why
his
have you
suffering,
forsaken
it
me?
was trust. God trusted Job's faith.
My God!
And at the end of it all,
My God!
Job got double for his trouble. Then there's Joseph. Favored by God, but betrayed by his brothers. Thrown into a pit. Sold into slavery. Falsely accused. Forgotten in prison. But every step of that suffering was a setup. Because God was building a man strong enough to save a nation. Romans 8 verse 18. The sufferings of this present time are not worth comparing with the glory that will be revealed in us. You're not just suffering, you're being shaped. You're not just being delayed, you're being developed. You're not just being tested, you're being trusted. And here's the promise. Galatians 6 verse 9. Let us not grow weary in doing well, for in due season we shall reap, if we faint not. Your due season is coming. But you must not faint. Keep trusting. Keep sowing. Keep believing. God doesn't just give prosperity. He prepares people to carry it well. If He gave you everything you're asking for now, would you be able to handle it? Would your heart still be humble? Would you still pray like you do now? Or would you forget the God who blessed you once you sit in your palace? God is not just a provider, He's a preserver. He withholds certain blessings not to punish you, but to protect you from what you can't yet carry. Some prosperity becomes a curse when it arrives too early. So instead, God allows you to go through seasons of pain, to teach you wisdom, to build your foundation. To prepare your character for the weight of the blessing. Because it's not about how high you rise, it's about how deeply you're rooted. Let's be honest. Sometimes, what we call prosperity is actually a distraction from destiny. The enemy has no problem allowing unbelievers to shine, if it keeps them away from the cross. They build empires but lose their soul. They go viral but feel empty inside. They gain the world but miss the one thing that matters, eternity. Psalm 37 verses 1-2. Do not fret because of those who are evil or be envious of those who do wrong, for like the grass they will soon wither. Their success is like smoke, it looks impressive, but it vanishes fast. The believer, however, grows like a tree. Roots go deep before fruit is seen. So while the world is clapping for the wicked, God is quietly building you. It's silent now, but soon, your season will speak for itself. Let's correct a lie right now. Suffering is not a sign that God has left you. Look at Jesus. He was perfect, sinless, divine, yet He was betrayed, beaten, and crucified. The cross wasn't a sign of defeat. It was the path to resurrection. So if you're carrying your cross right now, take heart. You're in good company. Even Jesus suffered before He was glorified. One of the hardest things for believers to accept is this: God doesn't work on our schedule. You may look around and feel like you're behind. Like life is passing you by. Like your mates have already made it in life, while you're still trying to survive. But hear me, delay is not denial. Just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it won't. Look at Moses, called at 80. Abraham, promised a child in old age. Jesus, waited 30 years to start His ministry. If God is making you wait, it's not because He forgot you. It's because He's making something worth the wait. So what should you do in this season of suffering? 1. Stay faithful. Keep praying. Keep serving. Keep trusting. Don't allow delay to make you bitter. 2. Guard your heart. Don't let envy take root. Don't allow comparison to cloud your view of God's goodness. 3. Feed your faith. Read stories like Joseph, Job, Ruth, Esther. These are not fairy tales. These are your blueprint. 4. Surround yourself with fire starters. Be around people who fuel your faith, not those who mock it. 5. Celebrate others without feeling less. Their success doesn't cancel your own. Your story is different. And your time is coming. 2 Corinthians 4 verse 17. For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all. God doesn't pay like men do. He sees your secret sacrifices. He hears every prayer you whispered when no one else was listening. He watches your obedience when no one is clapping. And in due time, He will reward openly what you did secretly. Eternity is the real scoreboard, and in eternity, the believer always wins. So, to every believer who feels forgotten, to every child of God who's wondering why they're suffering, you are not cursed. You are not forsaken. You are not abandoned, you are being refined like gold. You are being prepared for divine assignment. You are being stretched for greater capacity. You are not late, you are on divine time. When your season comes, and it will come, you will look back and understand, the pain had a purpose. The silence had a meaning. The suffering was not wasted. God has not failed you. He's simply writing a story that will leave the world speechless. Maybe you're watching this right now, and your faith is shaking. You feel forgotten. You feel overlooked. You feel like the enemy is winning. But hear me, God has not forgotten you. God is still with you. And God is working behind the scenes in ways you cannot see. There will come a day when your testimony will shock even you. A day where those who mocked your suffering will witness your rising. Until then, don't give up. Don't compare. Don't lose faith. God doesn't build microwaved believers. He builds warriors. He builds vessels of honor. He builds kingdom giants. So if you're suffering, rejoice. You're in training. You're on God's radar. And your reward will be greater than the pain you've endured. If this message touched you, if you've been wondering why it feels like the righteous suffer and the wicked prosper, drop a "God is working on me" in the comments. Let's flood this video with faith. Tag someone who's going through the fire right now. Share this message with a believer who's on the edge of giving up. Because this is your reminder, the suffering of believers is not God's absence. It's the sign of His deepest work. And your glory is coming.